Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the webinar and basically welcome to the admissions bootcamp. So I'll just introduce myself along with my other colleague. So I am Dr. Ekta Singhal. I teach marketing at Soil School of Business Design. And I have Dr. Anjali Ahuja with me. And Anjali ma'am, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Thank you, Ekta. And very good evening to all the participants here. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Anjali Ahuja, and I am a faculty for HR in the Soil School of Management. And happy to be here and talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am. So everybody, I'm sure all of you are curious to know and excited to know what is in hold for them and what is there in the admission process at Soil here. So before I start with what the process is, what are the different evaluation rounds, I would just like to say a few words about Soil and what is the culture here that we follow. So here, at Soil, we have a very common culture or philosophy that we all follow, and that is looking at the holistic development of a person along with how the person is overall. So all of you must have done a certain level of research that what is it in a college that you look for, right? But today is more about what is it that we look for in an applicant, and that is what I'm going to talk about. And then Professor Anjali is going to tell you about tips and tricks of how to crack your group discussion and personal interview. So that is how we have planned this session for you. Now, all of you, as soon as you submit an application in Soil Institute of Management, that is as soon as you apply, there's a whole team of people who are sitting and who are there to look at all the positives in your profile. So many a times we get questions like, ma'am, I do not have a work ex, ma'am, I have a year gap or a 2-year gap. I was preparing for some other exam and I couldn't clear. Ma'am, I am a little weak on extracurricular, or my extracurricular is very good, but I am a little weak academically. So trust me with that, we are not looking like everything from an analytical quantitative basis, but we are looking from a holistic point of view and looking at holistic admissions. And honestly, we are looking at reasons to admit you in our college and not to deny you admission. And that is why I think it is known as the Office of Admissions and not Office of Rejections, right? So with that note, I will just share my screen and I will start with how the process looks like. So all of you, I know, most of you, the reasons that influence your MBA decision, the first one is, of course, what is the ranking, what is the brand, what is the placement like, and 60% of you decide based on that. The 30%, they take the word of their family members, their friends, their alumni, their seniors, and they go with their word of mouth and they trust them and they go with that college. And 10% of you are those students who want to explore their own journey. They try to research about different colleges. They try to find a college which they feel would be a good fit for them and which would be able to help them accomplish their career goals, right? Now, what happens on the other side of the table? Now, this is, of course, these are the things that you look for in a college. Now, how do business schools select students? Now, this is one big question, and a lot of you would have in your minds, of course, the CAT percentile, of course, the NMAT, MAT, SNAP. These are the percentiles that colleges look at. And trust me, you are absolutely right. A lot of top B schools, they are only looking at quantitative analytical skills of student. And this is where we beg to differ a bit from others. And not that, analytical and quantitative skills are not important. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, in order to accomplish your career goals, what is that one thing that you need? And that is your interpersonal, intrapersonal, and verbal skills. Trust me, these are the three skills that is going to take you a long, long way ahead. And these are the three things that form the culture of SOIL, Institute of Management. And that is the reason that we are not only limiting our selections to your percentile, to your scores, but also to your attitude, to your intent towards learning, to your capacity to think, to your capacity to be curious. So again, I would repeat, we are looking at holistic admissions. So make sure you're able to prove that this is how you're unique from others. So the four brackets under which we try to put our students is, and we try to select them is, the first one is students with an ability and capacity to relate, to learn, to think, and to motivate. Because these are the students that drive the institute. So at SOIL, whatever we do, including the admissions, we have students as an integral part of all our processes. So students are not just here to sit in class and learn, but do each and everything that happens in college. So I am heading the student intake and quality, and along with me, in all the process evaluations, my students act as observers. They act as facilitators, right? So this is one key thing that we expect from all of you. Now comes the big question. What does the admission process look like at SOIL? So let me just show you the process. And there are basically 3 evaluation rounds here at SOIL School of Business Design. And all these 3 rounds happen on the same day. And all of you have to appear and go through all the rounds. So last time a student asked me, ma'am, do you reject some students after first round? No, that's not how it's done. Since we follow holistic admissions, we give students multiple chance to prove themselves. So the 3 rounds that we follow here are, first is the group discussion. Second one is our group exercise, which we call as a round, which is based on design thinking. And the third is personal interview. So these are the 3 rounds that happen on the process day, and all of you have to go through all these 3 rounds. Now the question is, what is the group discussion like? What are the different kinds of topics that we give you? So let me just spend time on each of these rounds. Now first one is group discussion. All of you are pretty much aware of what group discussion is. So what we do is we divide students randomly in groups, and we send them to breakout rooms. Each breakout room has a faculty evaluator along with student observers, and the participants are given one topic. And the participants are given 5 minutes to prepare on that topic, and remaining 25 to 30 minutes for the discussion part. Now, as far as the topics are concerned, so here at SOIL, we do not give topics, abstract topics that why sky is blue, why black is the new orange. We do not give topics like these, but we give topics that actually help you have a healthy discussion. So whatever is happening around you in your city, in your country, in the world, are the kind of topics that you get. So let me give you an example. So right now there's currently Ukraine-Russia crisis that is going on. Stock markets are dipping. So a lot of tension is there, between the West and the East. So topics based on that. And the topics are mostly share your views on a certain situation, on a certain problem which is being faced by the people around you. So this is our group discussion. So if you want to prepare for a group discussion, do start following news. That's my biggest hint. Then comes the group exercise, which is based on design thinking. Now, design thinking is something that makes us unique, and design thinking is a concept that is very unique in its own way. And that is why, this SOIL School of Business Design is one revolutionary college, because it's not only the marketing, HR, finance, analytics that we focus on, but how all these can come together, how you can apply design thinking concepts, and how you can apply liberal arts, psychology, all this in the business frame. So that is why we have made and introduced the bits of design thinking in our selection criteria also. So what happens in this exercise is, again, we randomly divide students into groups. We send them to breakout rooms. We give them a situation and we ask them to apply design thinking concept. Now, all of you, you do not need to worry, ma'am, we do not know design thinking. How will we apply? How will we get selected then? So take my word for it, do not worry about it. In the morning on the admission process day, we have a full presentation where we explain you what design thinking is. Along with that, before the exercise begins, I give a full 15 minutes briefing on what needs to be done. So each and everything, the steps, the template, I clarified during the process day. So nothing to worry there, just bring an open mind, bring a lot of creativity with you and you'll be good to go, right? And then comes the third round, which is the personal interview. Now, this is something that not happens in a group, it happens on one-on-one basis. So there are panelists where you go, and it's more of an interaction or conversation between the panelist and you. It's not something that we are interrogating you. So again, come up with an ease of mind, be honest, and be as elaborate that you can be about yourself. So obviously, you need to prove in personal interview how you stand out from others. What is it that makes you so unique, so different? You need to highlight what are your strengths, what are your areas of improvement, what is it that you have in your mind so that you can overcome and improve these areas of improvement. What are your career goals? What is it that you want to accomplish through this PGDM program? How do you see yourself 5 years from now? Any dream company or dream companies that you have? Any subject that you want to, that you really like and the specialization that you want to choose? So anything and everything that you answer should have a valid reasoning behind it. It should reflect that you have clarity. So this is how your personal interview round happens. Now, again, a lot of students ask, ma'am, or, do the panelists ask about general awareness? Do they ask about domain specific questions, technical questions? Now, honestly, it depends on the panelist. So there's a set of parameters that we try to evaluate. And based on that parameters, the panelists ask questions. And it could include general awareness, questions related to news to judge your level of awareness also, right? Now, what is it that we are trying to evaluate through these rounds? Group discussion is more to understand how are you able to structure your thoughts? Do you have clarity of topic? Do you have good listening skills? Are you able to express yourself in a group? Group exercise, on the other hand, primarily tries to judge or evaluate whether you'll be able to work in a group or not. Are you a team player or not? Are you a person who initiates or not? How participative are you? How creative are you? Are you contributing with your ideas or not? So these are the parameters that we evaluate through group exercise. And in personal interview, we try to evaluate you as a person, whether you have clarity of goals, whether you have goals or not, what is your intent towards learning, what is your contribution beyond academics, how involved have you been extracurricular or internships or WorkX, what is your learning of soil. Now, this is one thing which usually students tend to ignore or they underestimate, but trust us, this is a very important question for the panelists. Why is it that you want to get selected here and why soil? So you should do a thorough research on us, visit our website, look for information, be curious, ask us questions, but do study about us. So this is how the overall admission process looks like, right? And also just a quick reminder, all of you can post in the chat box. Sorry, I think my screen got stuck. Yeah. All of you can post your queries in the chat box. Professor Anjali and I will take them one by one. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is the scholarship part. Now, there are a lot of students who are curious to know what kind of scholarships that we offer. So basically, we offer scholarships under 5 heads. The first one is merit-based scholarship. The name is self-explanatory. Students with high merit, with extraordinary merit, they are rewarded for that. Then we have another category that says wards of defense. So students with family members, immediate family members being from the defense background, they are eligible for this scholarship. Then we have Dr. Verghese Kurian. This is for all those who come from agricultural background. They are eligible to apply for this scholarship. Then there is unique achievement. So if you have something unique to present, some big achievement that you've been able to achieve, you can apply for this one. And then last is need-based scholarship. All those who have a lot of potential are really interested in studying here, but due to lack of some financial or due to some financial problems, then you can apply here. So what I'm saying is these are the 5 heads of scholarships that we offer, but you have to apply for it. And there's a whole process before we actually go ahead and decide who deserves the scholarship. So the last thing from my side is my humble request to all of you, if you want to get selected, there's one key thing, that is you need to stand out from the crowd. So this is my portion where I have told you how the process looks like. Now I will hand it over to Professor Anjali, who will help you in cracking the group discussion and the personal interview round. So over to you, ma'am.
Ekta, thank you so much. And thanks a lot for explaining the admission process and so many other things to the students. And while Professor Ekta has explained to you, what part of the admission process, I will tell you how to crack it. So here we are, hand-holding you to the end-to-end process. We not only tell you what are we looking at, we also tell you how can you crack the GD rounds and the PI rounds, etc. So GD round, guys, is very important for you because there you tend to interact with strangers and you tend to, contribute in the group with people who you have never met. So I'll share with you a few tips and you can ask your questions, and later on after the session is over, Professor Ekta and I will tend to answer those questions. And I'll just share my screen and share with you some quick tips on how to crack the GD round. Ekta, have I got this sharing rights?
Yes, I have stopped sharing, so I think you can share now.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, guys, can you see my screen? Ekta, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, so the first rule is that in the time, it is going to be a timed process. It's not going to be for a very long time. So you have to restrict yourself to time and you have to organize and think critically and come to conclusions and don't make irrelevant points. The topic that is given to you, you have to stick to the topics and organize your thoughts. And here, the trick here is that no viewpoint is right or wrong, as long as you're communicating your viewpoint with a lot of conviction. So you have to have conviction to convey your viewpoint that this is the reason why my viewpoint is this. Okay. And it is always a good way to summarize the given subject and then raise questions. So if you haven't understood the subject or if you want to reconfirm when the topic is being given to you, just reiterate and paraphrase it so that your understanding is the same as the person who is giving the topic to you, so that you're not thinking in the wrong direction. And always raise hand before speaking. So, when the group discussion starts, what happens typically is that people suddenly start talking to each other and it becomes very difficult to understand who is saying what. So when you want to make a point, raise your hand and don't get bothered about somebody else speaking more loudly, somebody being more assertive, because your mannerisms, your etiquettes are noticed by the person who's observing you. So many a times I hear from the students that the other person was not giving me time to make my point, or some people were more aggressive. So don't worry about that. Keep to your etiquettes before you're talking. and don't get emotional about the subject. So there may be people who will be speaking for the topic, and there may be people who will be speaking against the topic. So if somebody is speaking against the topic and you are for the topic, don't take it emotionally and don't take it personally. Try to have some statistics, some facts, some data which you can present, or some reasons why you're saying what you're saying. Okay. And the quality of thought is very important. It may be a unique thought that you have, and I think that is going to be really respected and appreciated by the person who's conducting the GD, because even if you're saying something away from the group, as long as your thought is very unique and it's very innovative, I think that's going to be getting you extra scores on that. And then if you quote things like, I recently read in newspaper, or as per my facts in the book, please don't cook up facts. Cook up, say facts which are true and which are relevant. Okay, and avoid giving a negative impression. So, sometimes what happens in the group discussion, if somebody is, say, going against us, our body language communicates very negative impressions. Some people tend to just withdraw themselves, or some people tend to become over aggressive. So try to not do that, because it's not only your spoken and verbal language, but it is also your body language that counts a lot. Okay. And another thing is, try to be the initiator of the conversation. When a topic is being given to you, try to be as quick in assimilating your thoughts as you can, so that you can be the initiator. That counts a lot. And secondly, keep track of the time, because sometimes when the discussion is really going very strong and people are communicating their viewpoints, then they tend to forget the track of time. So try to keep track of time and try to summarize the conversation, and tell the group that, it's time. Because if you're a person who is summarizing the thoughts, that's also appreciated, that, you're keeping track of all the instructions which are being given to you. Okay. And these are some of the key points for cracking the group discussions. Now I'll come to the personal interviews, which is a topic which is my favorite. And in personal interviews, while Professor Ekta has given you a lot of thoughts and a lot of hints about how to crack the personal interview, my 2 cents to this would be that keep the focus on how you can contribute to whoever is interviewing you. So ask relevant questions, which should not be only about yourself, but also about the college. For example, if you're asking a question that how can I contribute towards extracurricular activities, or how can I contribute towards different groups that we have, which do extra activities, like the CSR activities or other activities. So be a contributor. That's one. Second thing is, as Professor Ekta has mentioned, that try to remember your experiences, because the interviewer is likely to ask you experiential questions. So what are experiential questions? For example, if I ask you in an interview that what is your greatest strength? So you say, I'm very hardworking. So I'll say, all right, then give me a situation where you have really gone out of your way to work hard and achieve something great. So at that time, you should not fumble for words. You should have clearly remembered an experience where you really went out of your way and did something which seemed impossible or which seemed very difficult. So that's another tip for cracking the interview. And the third thing is that if you have done some work before, or you have got a work experience, or maybe some internships in your grads, or any time if you worked on a project, highlight that very clearly in your resume so that it stands out. And not only that it stands out, write it in such a manner that you're able to communicate what did you contribute in that project. And write your specific contributions, not the contributions of the group. And that is what stands you out, in a group. Like, that's what makes you unique in the group. It's your contribution and not the group's contribution. Okay. And last but not the least, communicate a good body language, a positive body language. And it's not necessary that you know it all. There are certain questions that you may not know. So you can very coolly say that, I think I'll have to find that out. I'm afraid I don't know this, but I'll have to check it out. Don't get nervous or don't get confused at that point in time. And the other tip that I will give you is that keep yourself up to date with the current affairs, what's happening in the world around you. Because sometimes, we ask very simple questions from the students that, who is the finance minister of the country, and people don't know. So that doesn't go very well. And know a little bit more about soil, because soil is a very unique institution. And as Ekta mentioned before also, and I would reiterate that we look at holistic development. So you need to know, why are you in soil? Why do you want to select soil as against many other institutions that may be offering MBA courses? So that is something that you need to be very clear about. And I think with these words, I will stop here, and we will take some questions now.
I was just reading few of the questions in the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them are asking what is the GD topic going to be. So as I told earlier, they would be mostly related to current affairs, but not exactly like political, but it could be anything that is happening around you. So what we are actually trying to look for is how well aware you are. And it does not mean that you are reading newspaper every morning or not, but you should know what is happening in your country, in the world at the same time. Then there are few questions. GDG is going to be online. Yes, the entire process is going to be online thanks to pandemic, COVID. So far, yes, online via Zoom. Is resume or CV required for PI process? So we do have a profile of the students who apply, and that application form is pretty much like a resume for us. And the remaining we discussed during our interaction with the student. Somebody is asking boardroom selection process. What do you exactly mean by that? Just want to make sure. What would be the tentative dates for the whole online process? Deepa, you need to check out our website. It usually has all the dates and slots on which we plan to hold the process. Sri Raman is asking, it was mentioned that there is a hands-on bootcamp for design thinking. Could you give an insight on that? So yes, we do not call it a bootcamp, but here during the process, we hold a group exercise which is based on design thinking. Now, what needs to be done and what is design thinking? We explain it during the presentation that happens on the process day. Peter is asking about the international exposure in the program. So we have a lot of tie-ups with international colleges and universities who act as a contributor in our curriculum designing as well as student exchange programs. We also have a very well-renowned course, Future on Capitalism. If you put it on Google, it will give you all the details and it will tell you how good a course it is. So it is then we have international immersion program also, where we take our students to an international country and where they can go live and study also at the same time. But I'm just hoping for COVID to get better so that we can have all the immersions that we have thought of. Then what will be the weightage of general awareness questions involved in the interview process? There's no weightage as such. We have certain parameters which I've already discussed, and panelists generally try to evaluate you based on that parameters, and questions are usually related or they work around that. Is soil providing employability or employment? Uma Shankar, that's a very interesting question. So from that perspective, I would say we create employable students who are able to accomplish their career goals and not only just get a job right now, but are able to make a career out of it in the longer run also. We also have very interesting social innovation program where we have tie-ups with NGOs and where you go and work as an integral part of those NGOs also. So we do not have healthcare management in this program. It's a postgraduate diploma in management PGDM program. What will exactly happen in GE round? Vinika, GE round, as I told you, we give full briefing on the day of process. So I think you will have to appear for the process in order to get a more detailed view of what happens in GE. But just a heads up, we explain each and everything in detail so that you can perform effectively in that round. Okay, Radhika is asking, ma'am, if I apply today, within how many days would I be able to appear for the admission process? Radhika, so when you apply on our website itself, it asks you for the slot, the process slot also. And in case you face difficulty in finding that slot, then probably you can connect with our admissions office. We have Mr. Dheeraj, Mr. Sandeep, and Mr. Santosh who can help you and guide you around that. What is the fees for MBA? Again, please visit our website. You can find the fees as well as the breakup of the fees. YouTube channel name for recording. So Bhavin, you can go on YouTube and you can just try to search for soil and you will find all these sessions there. So earlier also we had a GDGEPI bootcamp. You will find that video also there. What are the extracurricular activities that happen during the entire session that can add value during final rounds? Uma Shankar, are you asking about extracurricular activities during the MBA program or are you asking about the admission process day? Please clarify. Peter is asking, what does the institute expect from a candidate during the program? So I think this was pretty much to tell you what we expect. So again, along with your analytical and quantitative abilities, we are also looking at your interpersonal, intrapersonal, and verbal skills also, and also how you are able to work in a team through group exercise, how well you are able to express yourself in a group through group discussion. All that is what we are looking in our candidate. And most importantly, I think that intent towards learning should be there in the attitude should be right. There are students with 90 percentile, but with such bad attitude, we do not want such students. Okay. Nikunj, exams accepted by SOIL. I think most of the competitive exams are accepted here, but the cutoff may be different depending on the exam type. Again, you can connect with admissions team as well as you can visit our website and you can get more information on that. Distance education graduates are very well eligible. Yes. So Uma Shankar, during the entire life 2-year PGDM program, we have numerous extracurricular activities ranging from experiential sessions every Friday, from design thinking workshops, then immersion programs, then we have Himalayan immersion, then we have international immersion, then we have yoga, we have liberal arts. So it's a full package, a lot of extracurricular, just to mention. Is 80 percentile good enough? Yes, it is good enough. Again, we are looking at holistic admissions, and I cannot really say if 80 percentile is the only thing that will get you through. You have other things to prove, as well as you have other things to highlight in your selection criteria. Ma'am, could you highlight the GD topics? Ujjwal is asking, will it be related completely to business? So it could be something, recently a budget has been, our finance minister declared the budget 2022. There could be a lot of questions from that. And nobody is going to ask you, please tell us what the budget was. No, you don't have to give us budget highlights. But what are the different schemes that the government has started, why they have started, what is the utility, what are your views on it, are the kind of things that you can expect in the topic. Soumya is asking, are candidates with gap years and no work experience eligible? Yes, they are eligible, but At the same time, they need to justify why were there any gap years. What is it that you were doing in those gap years? If you're able to convince the panelist, you're fine. Is NMAT accepted? Yes. Exact cutoff, I think admissions team will be able to give you in a better way. Uma Shankar, design thinking is absolutely different from analytics. Analytics is data-driven, insight-driven. Design thinking is something that takes you from the scratch and completes the loop, which includes analytics also. So again, I would say you should appear for the process to get more insights into design thinking. But analytics and design thinking are completely different things. Ankush, do we get opportunity for international internships or placements? Yes, absolutely. We have students placed by a Japan consulting company. So yes, do you have options for that? Shivam is saying, ma'am, can someone have a career transition or switch from one sector to another, which is totally different from previous experience? Absolutely, yes, Shivam. A lot of people from industry come and join PGDM because they want to change their line. They want to change their career path. So a lot of get into HR or analytics. So absolutely, yes. Where can we expect our summer internship, Peter? So we have all varieties and all types of companies who come to our campus for internship, and with some with very heavy stipends, some with very good profile also. So, you can expect almost all the good companies coming for internships. Suman, what are the companies that visit the campus during placements? So as you know that SOIL has been created with the help of 32 consortium companies. And if you look at our website, all those 32 come along with that. And in addition to that, we have Big Fours coming to our campus. We have various consulting companies. We have companies from banking sector. So depending on the career tracks that we offer for each domain, finance, HR, marketing, analytics, we have companies. So you have Deloitte, Infosys, Wipro, Schneider, so many that I really can't remember all of them right now, but you can definitely go to our website. It has all the details. Yash is asking in GD, I think Anjali ma'am, you can help Yash here. He's asking, can we have a neutral stance or it should be for or against only in group discussion?
Okay, Yash, I think you can have a neutral stand as long as you are able to convey your point with a lot of conviction. So it's not necessary to be for or against only.
Absolutely. And our purpose is not to have a debate here. Our purpose is to have a good discussion where everybody can share their viewpoints and perspectives.
Sure.
Can you explain more about design thinking in group exercise? So all of you, I'll just repeat again. I'm not going to explain what design thinking is. You need to appear for the process for you to understand and experience. It's more like an experience than anything else. And trust me, it's an amazing one. Sri Raman is asking, is it expected from students that we should have decided on PGDM specialization? Absolutely no. In fact, all those who come with a defined set of mind, we'll tell them that, explore for the first 2 semesters, then take a call. Because many a times, most of you are freshers, fresh out from the graduation. So it's good not to have a specialization in your mind. Then Uma Shankar is asking, how can we choose domain and specialization during the course? And is there any major and minor in specialization? So what we do is for the first 2 semesters, we teach you all the subjects, marketing, finance, HR, analytics, everything. And then at the end of 2nd semester, we ask you to think of a specialization. Now we give you options and we have a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing your specialization. So of course, there has to be a major, so no negotiation in that. So you have to have one major. When minor is concerned, you're free to choose any domain as your minor. And in minor also, we give you an option of general management, where if you want, you can choose 2 from marketing, 2 from analytics, 2 from finance. but one major is an absolute requirement. Okay, Abhishek is asking, in case of PGP, which is only for 1 year, for that we need to come up with idea that which domain we want to choose. So Abhishek, this is primarily for PGDM. PGPM have their own admissions bootcamp, which is available on our YouTube channel. Probably you can get more insights from there or contact the admissions department. I think that's it. The questions are done. Is there any opportunity to work in real estate industry? Yes, there can be, of course. I don't remember a real estate company for internship, but yeah, we do have real estate industry in placements, yes. How many seats are there in Seoul Institute of Management? So here at Seoul School of Business Design, we have 240 seats for PGDM. Uma Shankar is asking how many internships can we go through during the course? So there is one major internship that is what is called as summer internship program, which is compulsory and all the students have to go through it. For the others, I mean, if you can very well pursue live projects, you can pursue internship also, but not at the cost of your classes. So a lot of students, they do weekend internship or weekend live projects. They are most welcome to do that. Suman is asking, ma'am, will the PGDM program be held online due to COVID restrictions? So Suman, honestly, this answer or this question, nobody can answer. It all depends on COVID, but we have opened our campus for students for hybrid mode. So we are not making it compulsory, but if you want to come and study on campus, you're most welcome to do that. Okay, I think that'll be it. Anjali, ma'am, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, all I want to say is that keep your attitude positive, come with an open mind, and remember what we told you already, that we are here to enable you and not to reject you. So Soil is there to welcome students to our campus and not only give them academic knowledge, but we believe in holistic development and create professionals who are going to take on the leadership roles in the days to come. And for all you know, one of the unicorns may be sitting in the group right here, right now. So come with a very positive mind and be energetic about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Anjali, ma'am, there's a question for you.
Sure.
Ma'am, please suggest a way how to tackle the topic if you do not know much about it.
See, the topics, typically we don't decide the topics to make it difficult for you, first of all. And as long as you're generally aware of the surroundings around you, and also there are topics which test your viewpoint on certain other areas. For example, there could be a topic on women empowerment. So what is your thinking? So there are certain topics which come from your beliefs, which come from your surroundings that you observe, and which come from certain things that you have known, or you have done some projects in your graduation and all. So don't be afraid that if you don't know so many current affairs and so much of general knowledge, there would be a lot of neutral topics as well. So don't worry about it. The topics are not going to be so difficult. Have I been able to answer your question? I don't know, but I think you don't need to really worry too much about it, because most of our students are very excited about the GD participation.
Thanks, Pragya. And so in the chat box, we have shared our application deadline. It is 19th of February, our next application deadline. So it's 15th already. You have 3 more days to go ahead and apply. And after that, you can choose your admission process slot also. And we have also posted the YouTube channel on the chat box. So for all those who wanted to know more about us and to have a recording of this session, you can go to our YouTube channel and have all the videos at your disposal. Yes, absolutely. Uma Shankar, I do not mind about sharing the placement scenario at Soil Manesar. In fact, I'm very confident and excited to share about it. It has been heard that 30% hike this year. So what is the date today? It is 15th of February, right? And we are already sitting at 90% plus placements for our second batch. So I think that is phenomenal in itself. The average package is 10.5 plus, and the highest package that we've been able to achieve this year is 20 lakhs. So that's our placement figures. And the list of companies I've already shared. If you want to know more, visit our website. For hostel facility, yes, we have tie-ups with nearby places and hostel facility is there. You can connect with admissions team. They will guide you with more details on that. Average package for PGDM Akash, it is 10.5. I think it was 10.5 or 10.7. Yesterday only we've received good news, so probably the average package might have increased to 10.7. ROI in terms of a fresher, Uma Shankar, that is up to you to find out, to figure out your own ROI. I am nobody to tell you your return on investment. All I can tell you is this program has all the elements. It is a complete package which not only focuses on domain specific knowledge that will only last with you for about 5 years, but we tell you about other things like liberal arts, social innovation, we talk about empathy, which take you beyond these 5 years, and in the long run, it makes a career, not a job. So somebody very rightly asked, do you create employability or employment? I think the answer is there. So in the chat box, we have shared the phone numbers and the email address of our admissions team. Please note it down, reach out to them, and you can ask all your queries in a much further detail on hostel scholarship. They can help you out. Shreya, again, you can contact the admissions team. The number and email ID is here. Everybody, please make sure you note it down so that they can answer your queries even further. So before leaving, Professor Anjali and I would like to wish you good luck. Do not stress too much. Come with a positive energy, high energy, and just keep an open mind. Just stay well aware, just follow news, just know what is happening around you. And I think you will be good to go.
All the very best, guys. And we are really looking forward to enabling you towards a great future ahead.
Right. So thank you, everybody. That is it from our side. Again, follow our YouTube channel and contact our admissions team for further queries. Thank you so much.
Thanks. All the best.